This week, Ducati announced an updated Scrambler 800 range for 2021 with some new colour options, Euro 5 compliance and a new Nightshift edition. So in this video, we'll go through each of the bikes in the range and find out what's new for the next model year. But before we get started, if you're new here and you want to see all of the latest new bikes for 2021, then please do remember to hit subscribe. There's plenty more to come from Ducati over the next few weeks, so be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see those videos as soon as they go live. The entry point for the Scrambler 800 range is the Icon Dark, which was announced last year and remains unchanged for 2021. It still gets the same fundamental mechanical setup as the other bikes in the range, with an 803cc air-cooled L-twin engine capable of 73 horsepower. A steel trellis frame is suspended on a 41mm KYB upside-down fork and a KYB shock, whilst braking is taken care of by a 4-pot radially mounted Brembo caliper at the front. It also gets the same LCD instruments, LED lighting, hydraulic clutch and cornering ABS as standard. But the reason that Ducati are able to sell this bike at a reduced price of £7,695 is that the finish is more basic with just a matte black option and blacked out components, whilst the mirrors are lower spec, and it's the only bike in the range to get bulb indicators as opposed to LEDs. Still, if you want all of the performance of the Scrambler 800 but at the lowest price point, or if you're planning to customize the Scrambler and don't want to spend money on a finish that you're going to change anyway, then the Icon Dark represents a great option. The next level up in the Scrambler 800 range is the Icon, which comes in at £8,395. Again, it's the same mechanical platform as the other bikes in the range, but it differs from the Icon Dark in that it gets LED indicators which are self-cancelling. The 10-spoke wheels get a machined finish to give them a slightly more premium look. There are better mirrors than the Icon Dark, as well as a USB socket under the seat for charging your devices. But realistically, the most significant reason to spend an extra £700 over the Icon Dark would be the paint options. For 2021, as well as retaining the traditional Scrambler yellow, they've also introduced a traditional Ducati red. So I'm a bit torn on this one because we're so used to seeing the Scrambler in yellow that it feels right and also matches the original Scrambler of the 1960s, but then again there's always something to be said for a red Ducati. So I'd love to hear which one you prefer down in the comments below. The Desert Sled also returns for 2021, and for the uninitiated, this is the off-road bias version of the Scrambler 800. There are plenty of modifications to make it genuinely capable off-road, with a reinforced frame, dedicated swing arm, spoked wheels with a 19-inch front, Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tyres, a dedicated seat with a height of 860mm, tapered handlebars that are reinforced, adjustable KYB forks with 200mm of travel and an adjustable KYB shock, as well as some rally-style finishing parts like a headlight guard, high mud guards and a high number plate holder. But for the new model year, the Desert Sled comes in a new colour scheme of blue, white and red highlights. It gives it a rally look, with this being a super popular colour combination for adventure bikes. I'm thinking of the Africa Twin, which has recently been updated to include a red, white and blue model on the base standard bike for 2021, or there's the rally editions of the BMW 850GS and 1250GS. I think it works pretty nicely on the Desert Sled too, but personally my favourite finish for this bike has always been the first generation with the gold rims. The price remains unchanged for 2021 at £9,995. Brand new to the Scrambler range is this Nightshift edition, which is somewhat of a combination between the Cafe Racer and the Full Throttle. It takes elements of each and combines to make, for me, one of the most attractive Scrambler options they've ever made. Again, it takes a similar mechanical form to the Icon, but leans into the classic Cafe Racer style with spoked wheels, narrower bars, bar end mirrors, as well as an LED daytime running light. But perhaps the most notable new feature is a bench-style seat with a swing arm mounted license plate holder that really shortens up the tail end and combines it with side panels from the Full Throttle. Especially in this metallic grey finish, I think it combines to make something that looks really sleek and tastefully done and also looks like a blast to ride. I really loved the Husqvarna Vitpillen 701 when I borrowed one earlier this year because it was lightweight, good looking and had a level of power that felt appropriate for British B roads. And I reckon the Nightshift looks like a similar proposition, so I'll try and get hold of one to review next year when the riding season returns. Pricing for this version starts at £9,595. It's also worth touching on the updates to the 1100 Scrambler range, which were announced earlier this year. There's a new 1100 Dark Pro, which is pretty much the same idea as the Icon Dark, with the same mechanical specs as the more expensive siblings, but with the basic matte black finish. And then, sitting above that in the range, there's the 1100 Pro and 1100 Pro Sport. I've already made full videos about all of these bikes, so I've linked to them in the description in case you haven't seen them already. So that's it for the Ducati Scrambler range for 2021, and from the looks of the website it appears that the Cafe Racer, the full throttle and the lower capacity 62 will remain in the range unchanged as well. So that's quite a comprehensive lineup now, with 7 versions of the 800 and 3 versions of the 1100. And I'd love to know which one you'd pick down in the comments below. For me, it'd be between the Desert Sled and the Nightshift, and although they're built upon the same engine, I think they'd be very different bikes to ride, with the Desert Sled being tall and open, whilst the Nightshift will feel lower and more hunched over as a Cafe Racer should. But let me know your pick down in the comments below, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and I'll catch you next time.